Welcome to Graybo's Giblets. We are Gray Burnett, Ryan Fitz, and Duke Dotson. We own a sports card shop called Graybo Sports Cards and a sports bar called Parlay in Richmond, Virginia. We know you don't have 40 hours per week to pour over podcasts and spreadsheets, but you want to get in on the action, so we do the work for you. We bring you 30-minute giblets each week so you can feel good heading up to the window and into the weekend. We are the crossroads of sports lovers, fantasy heads, sports betting, and sports cards. We're out here dropping giblets for the people. And today, welcome back to Graybo's Giblets. We bring back Robby Robinson, one of our favorite guys here at Parlay from VCU, the Director of Business Development and the voice of VCU basketball since 2008 to preview the VCU Rams in Atlantic 10. What's up, Robby?
Basketball season's here.
Let's go.
Great.
Let's
How
go.
fired up. I mean, I know football's your big moneymaker here,
Yeah.
but like Richmond's a basketball town.
It is.
I really
It
think
is.
it's a hoops town, and they are fired up about it getting started here.
Yeah, I'm excited. Again, I think VCU knocked it out of the park with the coach they got. We'll talk about coach here in a second. But very excited for VCU basketball. And let's get into it. Right? New era of VCU hoops once again.
Yep.
We were here last year the exact same time, and I said, when this was Tony Bennett, when he retired, left Virginia, I said, is Odom going to go to UVA? We got to play the tape back because I don't remember what you said.
I had to be diplomatic. I'm sure I was diplomatic.
I'm sure, but here we are. I think VCU hits it out of the park again with this hire. Phil Martelli Jr., comes from a family of coaches. His dad, Phil Martelli Sr., the St. Joe's coach that went on that unbelievable run with Jameer Nelson and Delonte West. Did he play on that team?
He did.
I knew he was older.
He was a captain with Jameer.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
so they
teammates.
go on that run. He comes from Bryant University, brought him to the NCAA tournament last year where they lost to Michigan State. This is the fifth new coach in 10 years at VCU. All of them have left, to go to bigger conferences, not necessarily do better because VCU is such a good spot to be. Good conference, Atlantic 10, good basketball team, and we're all about basketball. VCU doesn't have a football team, so everything's about basketball. What is your kind of overall thoughts with the hire and how things are going behind the scenes? What can you tell us?
Hire was terrific. I mean, Phil Martelli Jr. is great. He's phenomenal. And I think, once again, our athletic director, Ed McLaughlin's gone out, found a high-level coach to what we all think continue the program and the success we've had. He's down to earth. He's just a good dude. They won last year, and he took his team to the NCAA tournament where they lost to Michigan State. He obviously has a great background in coaching. He knows what he's doing. His dad's kind of around as a consultant. He'll be around from here and there.
That's good to know.
He's not officially on the staff, and I don't think he's gonna be on the bench, but he'll be around. And honestly, too, he's a great guy, and we didn't have him on the radar screen, to be honest with you. I mean, it wasn't. Odom was kind of on the radar screen. We had talked to Ed before, and hey, if anything happened with Rhodes or that, who would you hire? And he's like, Ryan Odom is the guy we'd be looking at because they had Odom and Ed McLaughlin had a relationship back 20 years earlier in when he was at American up in DC.
Okay.
Well, Martelli wasn't on the radar screen, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, Phil Martelli's gonna be the guy, and you're like, wait, who? What? And the guy that, because he was going viral at the time.
Right,
remember, he had a Instagram shot of his post-game press conference after Michigan State or before Michigan State, and you can look it up. He got emotional.
Yeah.
He talked about his kids. He said, my wife knew what she was signing up for, but my kids didn't know what they were signing up for, and he got emotional about it. He loves his kids, and everybody, I think, just as one big Ram Nation was like, that seems like a great guy, and we're fired up about the hire.
And I'll tell you what, we had him here at Graybo's. He did a Rippin' in Richmond segment at the card shop. Like you said, just an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Was really into it, was telling us stories about each player or players that he played against, and we hit a big card. We hit Isaiah Evans from Duke University, a black sapphire autograph out of 10, which I estimated about $280 to $300.
Wow.
Card there.
So there's only 10 of them made.
And only 10 of them made, not even graded. So imagine if we get a grade on that, and if it hits a PSA 10 or anywhere SGC 10 or anywhere like that, double your money there. Like that might be a $600 card.
How about that?
So you got to tell Coach.
I will.
I'm sure he's going to be listening to this anyways.
Well, he does.
And so he came in, he did that. Y'all also did a podcast here in Parlay. It was packed. Yeah. It was awesome to have VCU fans here, and it was really cool for him to talk about the inner scrim, like the black and gold game, right? Like that's what you call it, right? Black and
you
gold.
Got it. Yep.
And kind of like how he treats it like a real game, and kind of goes like behind the scenes, and how I like how they spend one day watching just defense. Could care less about the offense. We're going to watch defense, and then the next day we're going to watch strictly offense. Care less about the defense. It's really cool how you did that. I had to leave early, so I didn't get all of it, but did it go well? I mean, do y'all do that once a month, or do you do it like once a week after a game? Or
no,
what
we do it once a month, and we usually do it from the Basketball Development Center. And Gray, he said he's like, for October, I want to go out and do it in front of fans. Like I want to do it on location somewhere, and we have obviously a great partnership with you and Duke, and you do a lot. We have watch parties here, and radio, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, as you can hear it right now. So we're in a restaurant, so you got people next to us live and talking, and that's kind of the background you get sometimes,
which is okay. And you set us right here, and so we do it once a month, and you never know sometimes with live events, right?
Right.
You don't know if it's just gonna be 3 fans that are there, or if it's going to be a packed house, and it was pretty packed. I think almost every table was taken, and I think our fans want to come see him in person. And he's obviously great. Like he goes and says hi to everybody, shakes everybody's hand. He's great in front of people. He's very personable and likable. He's not at all someone that's always looking to around the corner to how to get out of a conversation. Like he'll spend time with you and make you feel like he really wants to be there with you.
It was great. Like he was walking around our shop, like asking questions. I'm really excited for this hire, and I can't wait to watch the VCU Rams, who were predicted number 1 in his first year, by the way. Does he have pressure? Any pressure on that?
I don't think so. He's like, you know what? I don't care. He's like, probably because he votes in it too, Gray, and like he doesn't know who he's voting. I mean, there's so many new players,
there's so much turnover. We'll talk about that.
You can't, like, it's hard to do that.
Yeah, definitely. And then one of the other things, I think this was last week, the scrimmage with Villanova. Saw some highlights. How did that go? Based on maybe conversations you had with him, or were you there?
I was there.
Okay, you were there. Okay, you called it. Okay.
Yeah.
So what were your first thoughts? Obviously, like he said in the interview too with you, is in this culture and this NIL stuff is, early, you're going to see a lot of mistakes, right? The culture, the chemistry of all these transfers playing together. So I'm sure there was a lot of mistakes, but what were kind of your overall thoughts with the Villanova scrimmage?
Well, I love it for the program. Like if you take, go back up on the mountain and look down on the hill, it was great for the program because I think the guys over the last 6 weeks, they've been told that they're the number 1 team in the A10. They're preseason A10. Then there's 4 guys that made either the second or third A10 team.
Right. Yep.
They had a good black and gold. I think everybody at some point in time during the black and gold game had a real highlight play or 2 highlight plays. I think they're feeling pretty good about themselves. Okay. And Villanova did a pretty good job of punching us in the mouth.
Okay.
I mean, they just did. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you can go online. I mean, it's no secret.
I just saw the good highlights.
No, it's no secret.
Dunks.
I mean, we have better games ahead of us. I think a coach would say that, but he did say in our post-game interview, he's like, I know our fans are going to like to hear this, but I'm not really upset that we got our nose bloodied because it allows us to go in on next practice, and when we tell guys something, they are now more apt to listen because previously maybe they got full of themselves and they felt like they're in a place where they're kind of getting a little big for their britches, they like to say there. But Villanova did a really nice job bringing us back down. And Villanova's really good. They've got good players.
New coach.
I think, too, coach looked at it as an exhibition game. Rodney Ashby, who does the game with me, I was talking to him yesterday. I was like, hey, how do we spin this? Because, I mean, it was a double-figure lead at halftime, and it didn't get closer than double figures. He said, man, just look at it like an NFL exhibition. Like, no one worries about NFL exhibitions because he's right. It just is, and I think
playing different lineups, different
lineups, trying different things, did not prepare. they had a lot of new guys too, so you can't like watch film and see what they're doing.
You have no idea what they're doing.
And I think Martelli said on a couple different occasions in our post-game interview, he's like, it kind of surprised us that we didn't see them jumping into a press. We didn't see them trapping it at mid-court. And if you're Villanova, I'm sure we did a lot of things that they didn't see either. So good to have that game in the rearview mirror. I love it. I think we should, honestly, if I would rule the world, I would try to schedule in those exhibition games because Gray, you can do now Division I schools in front of fans. So you used to not be able to.
I don't remember.
No, you can only do it on one occasion, and that would be if it was a fundraiser. Remember Puerto Rico? The hurricane went through Puerto Rico, and we had an exhibition game against Liberty, and the funds went to Puerto Rico.
Gotcha.
That's what you used to be able to do. Or if you played in front of fans, it'd have to be non-D1, D2, D3 team. They got rid of all that. Now you can play whoever, whenever. I mean, you can play 2 games. They can be whoever. So I like going on the road in an environment that's going to be uncomfortable. And then I'd love to see a really good team come play us. Like, I don't see any reason why a high Power 4 team would not come to the Siegel Center and play us. Because, first of all, it means nothing. Like, nothing to do with the net rankings, nothing to do with preseason rankings. It's
not like there's regular season.
No. Our fans would treat it really seriously. Like, I think our fans would be super excited about it. So I think if you're, let's just say, who's the bastion of it? Duke. Why not come? Like, why not put your guys in an uncomfortable situation and play that in a game that doesn't mean anything in the standings and give them that taste of what it's going to be like to go on the road to North Carolina, to go on the road to go to NC State, but do it in a way where there's no real stress about it.
It's funny that you bring that up, that they now can do that. And back then they could only play like Division II, Division III, because when I was at Randolph-Macon, I believe it was my sophomore year, we played George Mason in a scrimmage and
you beat him. You beat him. I remember that.
Awesome.
That's huge.
It was awesome.
Like, I think that was long before, like, I don't know, what year would that have been?
07.
Yeah, so that was before I got
07, 08.
That was before I got to VCU, and I knew about that game. I was living in Charleston, South Carolina, and Gray, I knew about that game.
That was incredible.
How fired up were you guys on campus?
Oh my gosh, I think we started celebrating on the bus.
It was only an exhibition, but still.
Oh man, we treated it like a real
that's
game.
That's cool. That's neat.
It was Rhodes. Rhodes was the head coach.
That's right.
So,
that's right before he started with Shaka.
It was awesome feeling to be part of that, and I always bring that up to two of my really good friends went to George Mason, and we're there, and I always bring that up every once in a while. I have to bring that up.
You should.
And so let's get into a little bit of the roster this year. Every year, there's turnover. Even when there's not a new coach, you have guys leaving, new guys coming in. Now you have a new coach. Who's staying, who's not, who are the freshmen that are going to stay and come in. VCU lost a lot. You're looking at their team last year, A10 Player of the Year, Shulga, Zeb Jackson, Philip Russell, what do you say his last name? Bamasil, who's a good shooter, Jack Clark. And then Bemboye went to Texas Tech. I thought Virginia would get him. I was really hoping he would go with Odom, but just like with Santos Silva, Texas Tech Red Raiders. What are they coming at the VCU for?
Cash, I guess. You look at that list, and you've got that list with Shulga, Jackson, Russell, Bamasil, Clark. Gray, all those guys graduated. I think it's important that our fans, this in the transfer portal era, where some teams just get strafed really by Power 4 teams, or that has not been the case with VCU. Losing Bemboye was definitely something we would rather have not had happen.
Right.
He
had so much potential.
He had tons of potential. He had a good freshman year. Defensively, he was going to be great. But he was the only one, other than Fats Billups, who I think just made a decision to go to a place where he could probably play more. And he went to Longwood.
Right, yeah.
We have not truly been ravaged by the transfer portal the way other teams have. And I think that says a lot about our fans, our culture, what it's like to be a VCU basketball player, the resources our school has put into keeping VCU basketball at the top. And so I know it's really easy to say, like, you have a freshman who's going to play great 1 or 2 years and he's going to be gone. I'm not sure that's going to be the case. I really am not. I'm not 100% sure that we are going to be someone that does we're a pillagee and not a pillager.
There you
go.
A plucky
and not a plucker, if you will. I think we're going to, more times than not, you look at, and we'll talk about some of these guys in the next segment. I think these guys are going to stay because it's the best place for them, and it's a really good place to be.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, last year coming off a big 28-7 record, 15-3 overall in the A10, which is really good. Defeated George Mason in the A10 championship. Lost to BYU in that first round to a very good BYU team. We watched it here, start to finish. BYU played the part, made it to the Sweet 16, and then ran into Alabama. Couldn't miss. Like I really liked BYU to win that game. Alabama just could not miss from 3. And then BYU is going to be really good this year as well. I think they're preseason number 9. But we were just talking about it. 5 returnees, including one of my favorite guys from Richmond, St. Chris boy, Brandon Jennings, who for preseason all defensive team, which I love. I love that they do defensive team. They pick 5 guys on the preseason defensive team, and he was one of them. Is back. Okafor, Michael Bell, who got a few minutes last year. Christian Furman, who started some games last year, is back, and Terrence Hill Jr. is back. And then we pick up 2 freshmen, which I've heard a lot about. Nick Lewis and his speed, and you can kind of talk about that. And Jordan Tillery, I don't know so much about. Are the 2 freshmen. What can you tell us about these returnees, these freshmen? What are their expectations for this year? We have big minutes coming out of these freshmen, or what could you tell us?
I'll start with the freshmen.
Yeah.
I think you can expect Nick Lewis to play. They want him to play big minutes. He is a top 50 prospect, originally signed with Xavier, so he was going to the Big East. He is from Gonzaga High School in D.C., which is, if you know anything about the D.C. Prep League, you know all about Gonzaga.
Yes, you do.
He was invited to the Under-19 Team USA tryouts and practices this summer. Didn't make the traveling squad, but was part of that. And probably one of the top recruits we've had at this school in a long time. He left Xavier because Sean Miller went to Texas.
Right.
So he reopened his recruiting, and we have a guy, Chris Cole, who's an assistant coach on Martelli's staff, and his connections in D.C. are unbelievable. And Nick Lewis, who also has relatives and friends, I think his grandfather or uncle or someone lives here in Richmond, so he spent a lot of time in Richmond. Long story short, I think they expect him to.
It's a big get.
Yeah,
I did not notice that he was top 50.
Yeah,
that's a big get.
Yeah, so he's a big get. They want him to play a lot, and if he plays well, he'll have a chance. Because I do feel like while we're guard heavy, we're very much still inexperienced at guard. Jennings had all of last year, but Brandon played 10 to 12 minutes, 13 minutes a game. Terrence Hill, returner, again, didn't play a lot of big minutes last year for the Rams. And then you've got Nick Lewis, and then we'll talk about Ahmad Noel in a little bit. All right, Jordan Tillery. Jordan Tillery is going to be a guy, kind of a developmental guy. I don't feel like we'll see a lot of him early on. I think he could probably work his way into the rotation with practice and getting on the floor. He's a slasher, very athletic guy. It's interesting about him. Jordan Tillery signed with the Ryan Odom staff. He committed to Ryan Odom. But even with Odom leaving, Tillery then comes to VCU. He is the only guy, as far as we could remember, and we went back all the way to really after when Jeff Capel got the job, that had signed with the previous staff that ended up coming to the school even though the Pratt left. Yeah,
that's a trivia question.
Yeah, it was great. And so we went all to the Shaka team. Like Shaka had an unbelievable class when he went to Texas. They were all gone. Yeah. Will Wade had a decent class. They were all gone, and then Rhodes had, I think, one guy who ended up going to UMass. Okay. But he stayed. So I think just by that alone is someone that VCU fans will be excited about.
I like that. Yep. I respect that.
Okafor is injured still. He banged himself up again late spring last year, so he is still A, recovering from a knee injury from a couple years ago, and B, I think recovering from what happened, an injury that he had in the late spring. So I think he's still going to be a guy that's on the injured list for a while. Michael Bell is a returner, as you said. He's a junior, so he's in his 3rd year. Again, a guy that stays in a coaching change I think means a lot, especially in the transfer portal age. And so Michael, I think they'd love to see him hit a couple more shots, but also be a slasher. He's big, strong, athletic, can get to the rim. I think that's where his bread and butter is. I know, like most college basketball players, he wants to be a great shooter.
Yeah, right.
I think he'll get opportunities to shoot. If he can knock him down, that's great.
It's all about knocking him down. You got to find other ways to stay on the court.
Right, exactly. It's like, hey, we want shooters. It's like, no, what you really want is makers. Like, you can get shooters. Give me some makers. Yeah. Stole that line from Mike Ellis, who used to do games with me.
Give us some makers.
Christian Furman has to be the fan favorite on this team. He's gone through 2 coaching changes.
And it's just
he's still
sticking
here,
around.
senior.
I love that.
A big, like he could have left and probably gotten more money somewhere from somebody, but decided to stay here in Richmond. And I just think the world of Christian Furman. I think Christian's role will be different this year. I think he had a little bit more pressure last year to be a big that could score. I don't think that's going to be the case this season.
That's not really his thing, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a shot blocker.
Yeah, like that's what I think of Furman. Yeah,
He is a shot blocker.
Rim protector.
And he needs to be that
tough
guy.
on defense. Yeah.
And then Terrence Hill can score. He struggled on Sunday in Philly, but I think that was an aberration. Like he knows how to put the ball in the basket.
Okay.
And I think if his defense improves, then he will get a lot of playing time on this team because he can shoot it. Really, I think one thing that we're going to have to find consistency with is our outside shooting.
Yeah.
And I think Terrence Hill's a big part of that. And then Brandon Jennings, like you said, he's just great. Great defensive player. He had a good offseason. Everybody said he played spectacularly in the preseason and practices.
Good.
And earned a lot of playing time. So I would expect to
Some
see
more
a
minutes.
lot of. I'd expect to see a lot of the former St. Chris Saint
All
on the
right.
floor, probably starting on Sunday and then going into the regular season. I think he's got a chance to.
Who
to
you
be,
open up with?
We open up with Wagner, where you don't want to Google Wagner. They've been through. They just released their schedule. I don't know. Yeah, they've been through. They've had some issues in Wagner. Open up with Wagner. That's on a Monday, November 3rd. So
November 3rd,
a week
baby.
from this
College
upcoming
ball.
Monday, and then we go we.
You got a little
going early.
gauntlet.
Well, we go to
a little
Fort Worth.
gauntlet,
We go to Fort Worth to take on Utah State,
Yes,
which is
that's
kind of
no-
the VCU of the West Coast.
Yeah,
I mean,
that is
really
not
good.
going to be an easy game that early.
So that's a neutral site game, and we got to. That's an important game to win. If
It
you
is.
once,
If
'cause
you- yep.
that's those games are important. Then we come back, have a home game against St. Peter's on a Wednesday, and then we go to NC State on the 17th.
And I tell you what,
Yeah.
they're my sleeper team in the ACC.
Yeah.
That roster, if they can put it all together, that roster can go.
Well, he's
deep.
known for doing that.
Yeah, he is. And then you're taking the family to Atlanta.
Yeah, we go. We play
the South Florida. Opening with South Florida.
So fourth time that the program's been to Atlanta. So
Yeah.
They love us there. We will open against South Florida, then play the winner, hopefully, of the Western Kentucky Vanderbilt game. And then on the other side of the bracket, I never get these right.
Who we just heard, we think Vanderbilt beat Virginia in a scrimmage.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how publicized that was or if they did it in front of anybody. But they're going to be good. Mark Byington's a good coach.
Yes.
So you should we win and should they win, I think that'll be a good test for us.
Okay.
And then the other side of the bracket, it's got Oklahoma. No, they've got Virginia Tech on the other side of the bracket. So the Hokies are going down there.
Who are going to be much more improved. They got a kid from, I believe, Europe that's supposed to be
Would not
this
surprise
out of
me.
nowhere, maybe all ACC player
Would not
that I'm a little
surprise me.
scared about.
Sure. Right. You can get guys like that. Who else is going to be there? St. Mary's, Wichita State, and Western Kentucky.
That's just I love that tournament. I love
Great tournament.
the they still call them preseason
They call them,
tournaments.
you know what they call them? They call them MTEs.
Okay.
Multi-team events.
Just Thanksgiving break, watching those tournaments, and then watching football is the best.
Yep.
It is the best. Awesome. Only 2 freshmen, so it tells you a lot. This team is going to be mature, hopefully, and has been around the block, knows what college basketball is all about, and hopefully the chemistry can work itself out, and they can get together early and have a great year. And it starts with the transfers that they're bringing in. 3 of these guys were preseason second teamers, and 1 is a third team. So nobody on the first team. Does that shock you a little bit, or is
When
that?
I looked at the first team, Gray, the first team were all, I think, of the 6, because they picked 6 guys on the teams, I think 5 of them were returners.
Okay.
So I think you
They
could
know
tell
what they
like
got.
the best returning guys that are good. And then that, because again, like with transfers, you just don't know.
You just don't
But I think
know.
I'm pretty sure when I saw maybe 1 of the 6 were not a returning guy, and then the second team is where all like it's kind of who you look at and who you think's resume is best.
Yeah.
And you're right, we had Jadrian Tracy, Bam Tracy, they call him Bam or Jadrian.
Bam, I like that. I'm
Terrell
gonna
Ward,
call him that.
and then Barry Evans were on the second team, and then the third team, Ahmad Noel. And Coach Martelli said in our pregame or our podcast here the other night. He said, look, I had to put 18 names down. It would not surprise me if somebody that made the second or third team, mainly the third team, but made the second or third team, doesn't really play a lot. He's like, just wouldn't surprise me. He's like, you never know. And he said that some of these guys are coming from schools where the pedigree is great.
Yeah.
The high school resume is great, but they didn't do anything in college. They just happened to be at a big school. And you're like, well, he must be pretty good because he's from TCU.
I mean,
so I'm going to put him on the third street.
Of sense.
But he may not. He's like, don't be surprised if like a couple guys on the third team aren't in the rotation of not the Rams, but whatever team they happen to be playing.
Gotcha. So let's get into a couple of these guys. Let's start with the two he brought over from Bryant, and he kind of mentioned these two guys because I asked him when he was ripping cards with us at Graybo's. Was Barry Evans is the preseason second team All A10, and he's also bringing over Keyshawn Mitchell. What can you tell us about these two guys coming in over from Bryant, who made a tournament or won their conference, and then we're also in the NCAA tournament, so they have experience a little bit.
We have to figure Martelli super high on him. I mean, you're bringing those guys with you. And I'm sure once the ink had dried and he was able to get in the portal, these were two of the first guys he called.
Yeah.
Barry Evans has A10 experience. He was at St. Bonaventure for 2 years.
That's what he was saying, yeah.
And so he was there and didn't shoot a lot of threes. Mark Schmidt didn't want him to shoot a lot of threes. I think Martelli or whoever the head coach was at the time, I guess it was Martelli. He was like, hey, you can come here and shoot threes. And he did. And
you say that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm there.
Oh, man.
So exactly. So he was a newcomer of the year last year in the America East. I think that's
the league. They're American East now, yeah.
And then played really well. He's tough. He's experienced. He was difficult when he was at St. Bonaventure. I can remember him. He wasn't one of their top 4 or 5 guys.
The Bonnie's are always tough.
Oh yeah, they're always they're like
they could be predicted 10th in the A10, and they always find a way to beat VCU.
Yeah, they know what they're doing there. So Barry's he's a real dog. Like, he's just a tough guy. He can shoot the three. I don't know if that's his strength. I think if it becomes his strength, we'll be in business.
Right.
Watching him on Sunday, he's a guy that's going to go out after rebounds and put him back. He's a good passer. He's a talented player. There's a reason we were picked to win the league, and I think Barry is one of those guys that is proven himself in college basketball, and now he's at VCU.
I love it.
Keyshawn played a lot last year for Bryant, and he's a big 6'11" guy, but he's going to work the perimeter. Like, he hit one of our threes the other day. We only hit 5 of them against Villanova, but Keyshawn had one of them. He's going after rebounds, very aggressive inside, and so I think before all is said and done, he's going to really be getting a lot of the minutes for the bigs. Maybe not the most. We'll talk about Lazar Djokovic in a little bit, but Keyshawn's going to be an early rotation guy.
All right.
And so I think he and Djokovic and Furman will really be battling for those minutes, because I don't think Coach Martelli told us the other day in his pregame interview, he said, I don't think we're going to be playing the bigs together a lot. Like, I wouldn't expect to see Mitchell and Djokovic, or together. Djokovic and Furman, or Furman and Mitchell on the floor together at the same time.
Gotcha. And is he like Odom in a way where he's going to play a rotation of 10 guys, or is he more condensed on maybe like an 8-man, 7-man?
I think that remains to be seen.
Okay.
I think he's going to have to. We're very democratic with our talent. Like, everybody, or maybe socialist. One of those two. Which one would it be? If you're pretty, actually, it's probably socialist. Because you're the social studies teacher, right?
Yeah.
So if you're pretty even 1 through 14, 1 through 13,
everyone's equal.
Everyone's equal.
That's
yes, socialism.
Yep,
yes,
socialism.
So like the Rams teams with Eric Maynard, those more of a republic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
I like it.
They're more. Anyway, 1 through 11, there's not a lot of difference in talent. And so I think I think he's wondering who the starting 5 is going to be.
So, that's my next thing.
Sure.
I don't think there is a...
There's not at all. No, not at all.
We don't know.
And Gray, I think the other day, because people asked me the other day, like, Robby, what about that starting 5? Because he started Jennings, Terrence Hill, Barry Evans, Christian Furman, and, oh gosh, who was the 5th guy? Was
it Bam?
No, it wasn't. It was Terrence Hill. Oh, Ahmad Noel. He started Noel, Jennings, Hill, and to go with Evans and Furman. I think a large part, they have 4 returners or 3 returners on that with Hill, Jennings, and Furman. I think a large part of that was just he wanted to give those guys kind of a reward for sticking around.
Yeah.
Not that they're not going to start it. I'm not saying that at all, but I think if you're wondering what the starting 5 was like on Sunday, why? I think it was because it was returners and exhibition game and so that. So he said in the podcast on Thursday night from here at Graybo's, he said, I don't know the starting 5 right now, and we play Sunday. And he's like, you might not think that's good for the coach to say that. He's like, but I think that's a strength and a superpower of ours. So I would say off the gut, early on, expect to play 10 or 11 guys.
Okay. And then,
but then I think probably ultimately most coaches like to have 8, 7, 8, 9.
Right.
To shorten the bench. I think that's on the lookout for that once the season continues on.
All right, so let's. So we got Barry Evans, Keyshawn Mitchell for Bryant coming over, and then we have Ahmad Noel coming from UConn. I mean, back-to-back national champions.
Another top 75 guy.
Top 75 guy. He's preseason 3rd team, A10. He's in every Bowman product for college basketball. That's the guy we were trying to get coach.
Is he in a UConn uniform or VCU uniform?
He's in a UConn uniform. He is in a UConn uniform, but. I just remember someone saying that kid's going to VCU. I'm like, really? I mean, and kind of like thinking of like he's coming from UConn, he's got to be pretty damn good. So what can you tell me about Ahmad Noel and what he's going to bring to VCU?
Point guard. He and Nick Lewis are going to be battling for some minutes.
That sounds like a good problem to have.
Very good problem to have.
Kids.
I think you'd ultimately like one of them to step forward and become a stud.
Yeah.
And I think they both have that in them. Noel, again, UConn had won a national championship and decided they wanted him to come play for them. So that's the kind of rarefied air he was in as a recruit.
Yeah.
He struggled last year with the system and with Danny Hurley, I think. And so I think he's got a fresh life here. He's got new blood. And he is a guy that he can get to the rim. He can shoot. He can do everything good point guards do. It's just a matter of putting it together. And I think
I laugh because if you could be a point guard and make it a year with Danny Hurley.
that's not a knock on Ahmad. I don't think so. No, not at all.
Not at all.
That is so that's him. He's a guy, Gray, that is unproven.
Yeah.
And if you can look at me and say, hey, I want to tell you something, Robbie, Ahmad Noel is going to have a all A10 kind of year. My gut would then say, man, I bet we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
If you tell me, not to say that if he doesn't have a year that we would struggle, I don't think that's the case, but he's probably the one guy that's like, if he go, not that he goes, we go, but man, if he has a good year, I think we're going to be tough.
I love that. So another top 75 guy. That's good.
It might be even higher than that.
It might be,
I think he was like a UConn recruit's going to be in that top
that's what I'm
50.
saying. Like, Hurley's recruiting you. I love, you got to have showed something.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about the other 3. You kind of mentioned a few of them. Bam Tracy's coming from Oregon. He's a preseason 2nd team, A10. Terrell Ward from LSU, preseason 2nd team. And then Lazar Djokovic from Charleston, who was also at Xavier, I believe, before that.
Started with Xavier.
And then Bam was at he's been A10. St. Joe's,
and then did junior college for a year, and then went to Oregon. Probably played the best of anybody on Sunday.
Yeah, that's the one I remember. Like, when I saw him as one of the transfers, I was like, Oregon guy.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Good player. Played a lot at Oregon, too. Started 23 games.
Yep.
He's good. Terrell Ward did not play last season, but the year before he had 52 threes at LSU, which is probably why he has that 2nd team all A10. And then you look at Djokovic. He's a horse. I mean, he just looks great. He's chiseled. He's got a great frame. He can step out and hit threes.
Yeah, coming from Charleston, I was like, he better be able to hit some threes.
He can also get in the lane. He's a big that is going to be battling for minutes with those guys. Christian Furman. I think he's another guy, not maybe quite as much as Noel Gray, but if he has a good year, I would go ahead and say, we probably had a lot of success if you look at Djokovic's numbers, if he has all A10 kind of numbers, odds are pretty good that we're going to be at the top of the league.
And that's a good one to point out because he's not one of those 2nd teamers or 3rd teamers you see on there.
He didn't play a lot. I mean, I think he was injured a little bit for Charleston. I think he got on Chris what's Chris May? Not Chris. Their coach. Anyway, they're
I forget.
yeah. He's
Mack or something?
Chris
No.
Mack. No, you got Chris Mack.
Okay,
Yeah, you
Chris
got
Mack.
Chris Mack's. He got on Chris Mack's bad side a little bit. Worked his way out of that, and now I think we're super excited to
And
have
now
him.
it's here. I love it. I love it. And that gets to kind of like our A10 preview. And being Coach Martelli's first year, VCU is number one, kind of based on the guys he's brought in. But again, we got to see it first, right? We got to see this chemistry. And we talked about how Villanova kind of handed it to them a little bit, but could be good for them to kind of step in the right direction to where we're going to see them be number one here in the end. Kind of break down the 14 teams. St. Louis is the 2 as they bring back the fan favorite, Robby, 17.3.
Robbie Avila.
Yeah.
Yep. The Larry Nerd. Yeah.
17.3 points per game,
Yeah.
6.9 rebounds per game. I'm sure he's the preseason favorite to be player of the year.
I would think so.
They never did. They never
no,
do that.
I think that's really hard to do.
Yeah.
In terms of like,
but
name
definitely
that
first
guy.
teamer.
Yes, for sure.
preseason. And then Dayton in the 3rd spot with Javon Bennett. George Washington is 4. That's kind of one you don't usually you see St. Louis, Dayton, St. Joe's up there, but GW getting that 4th spot with Rafael Castro, Loyola Chicago, RIP, Sister Jean, with Miles Rubin, George Mason with Braden O'Connor 6, St. Joe's 7, the Bonnies 8. But again, the Bonnies being 8, you're like, this is a tough conference because the Bonnies are going to beat a lot of those teams up top, I'm sure. Duquesne 9, Richmond 10, Davidson 11, Rhode Island 12, LaSalle 13, and Fordham 14. Looking at that, Robbie, besides VCU, who do you think are going to be the contenders? Who do you have as a sleeper
I think
team?
I think they have it right.
Okay.
I think St. Louis is great.
Yeah.
Well coached. That guy knows what he's doing.
They got it together at the end of the season
They
last
did.
year.
I think they didn't quite get it together quick enough for the A10 tournament.
Right.
They struggled in the semifinal. They would have lost to George Mason, but they were right there. And Avila's a great player. And I think Dayton's a little bit like us with a lot of new guys. They beat Penn State in an exhibition game on Sunday, so they had a good game that did not count, but they beat Mike Rhodes and Penn State on Sunday.
For what it's worth, Penn State is predicted to be last.
They
in the
are.
Big Ten.
That's true. Yeah. So you can only put so
Sorry,
much
Mike.
into that,
Sorry,
right?
Mike.
Yeah, Villanovan's picked 7th in the Big East, and we didn't fare very well against them. So you can take the exhibition games, take what it is. I think I'm interested about GW for sure, for the same reason you said it.
Yeah.
Just not used to seeing him above the 5 line there.
Yeah, you're really not.
And Rafael Castro's legit.
Yeah, he is.
Big guy, athletic, can be a problem. I like our matchup against him because we've got more size than we have in years past. That's good. But he's still going to be an issue. St. Joe's has a new coach because their guy bolted for the 76. No, for the Knicks, I guess. Anyway, yeah. They have a new coach. So
Is he doing like assistant for the Knicks?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Or is it like a G League head coach?
No, it wasn't a G League head coach. He was, he went to So I don't know. Who knows what happens there?
Yeah.
Just who knows. And then Steve Donahue is their new head coach. Billy Lang is their coach that went. I think it was the Knicks. I think he went to be an assistant. He didn't become a head coach anymore. He was an assistant somewhere.
Right.
And so now Steve Donahue, who was the head coach at Boston College for a while.
I remember that name,
Looking down, obviously the Spiders are super well coached.
Yeah.
Last 2 years ago, they hit lightning in a bottle with King and became an A10 Player of the Year.
They sure did.
They probably tried to go back. I think that's going to be the plight of teams like us sometimes is you roll the dice on a kid from East Tennessee State and boom, he's A10 Player of the Year. Next year you roll the same dice and he's just an average player and you're trying to squeeze water out of a rock there. So I know that they went to the transfer portal again and they have some really good players.
Yeah.
I think it's unknown. It's a big, and I think that's
That's
in the
preseason rankings.
It is. It is. We're going to start playing games. We'll know sooner rather than later. For the preseason, that makes it tough because you don't have no sense of who anybody is, and you can't. Even people like myself that dig in and try to figure it out. I can't speak in authority on how good any of these teams are. I barely know their roster, if anybody. Barely remember anybody. I mean, I would barely remember anybody if they'd been there for 3 years, much less like just showing up out of nowhere. And so rounding it out, though, with Davidson, Rhode Island, LaSalle, and Fordham, Rhode Island's coached by Archie Miller. He knows what
That's
to
right.
do. He can coach.
That's
He was
right.
at Indiana. He won a lot of games in Indiana, won a lot of games at Dayton. I have to figure he's going to turn it around and that program's going to make their way up the list. So I think they're a little bit of a sleeper just because of him. LaSalle's got a brand new arena, which is great. They used to be on the 4th floor of a gym with a pool in the basement. I think the pool is still in the basement, but they've totally redone the arena, so we're looking forward to going there.
Shout out Tim Legler.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. But I think if you wanted me to say, Robbie, who's your sleeper team other than the Rams to win it all?
Yeah.
I think Loyola Chicago.
Okay.
I do. I think
like
Miles
that.
Rubin's really good. They get some guys back last year that were injured throughout the whole year that are back.
Sister
Daryl
Jean on her
Valentine.
side? On their
Sister
side?
Jean is up there pulling some strings for you. Daryl Valentine's a good coach. They're tough. They play us tough.
I
It's
like
a real bloodbath when they're a difficult team to work
They're
through.
a tough out.
They really
They
are.
are.
We get them at home this year. One game, we get them at home. So we'll see how that goes down the stretch. But I think that would be my sleeper team that could be really pushing to the top of the preseason poll.
I actually really like that pick, Louis Chicago. And then you got to pick who's cutting down the nets. Atlantic 10 tournament. Is it
I have
the Rams?
to pick the Rams.
Yeah, let's
I
go.
think I can't not pick the Rams,
have
right?
to.
I mean, do the games on the radio. The Rams going all the way. It's all the way. I
I'm
think
with you.
so.
I'm
Yeah,
with
the Rams
you.
going, and I think that's a legit
Yeah, I do too.
pick. I think when you look at it, we've got talent. After watching them on Sunday, I'm not quite sure I would 100%. But
Not
I think
put money on it yet.
I think that Sunday was an aberration. I think we're going to play better. We're going to have to make some shots, Gray. And if we do that, then I think we'll be in good shape.
I like it. All right, so if you had to vote for top 5 players in the conference, who would be your top 5 for people to watch right now?
I would say Avila from St. Louis. The Castro kid from George Washington is great. I would say that Javon Bennett's really good. I like him a lot. After that, I think Brandon Jennings for us.
Ooh.
I do. I just feel like Brandon Jennings is going to be a glue guy that can figure out, make plays to help us win.
love that.
So I think he would be number 4. And the 5th guy, man, that's a good question. I said Castro. I said Rubin. There's George Mason's got O'Connor, who I think he's okay. He's good. Like, I don't want to give anybody bullets and Brobish heroes. They're all great players.
Yeah.
I would say the 5th one for us would be, I would say Jadrian Tracy. So put 2 Rams on there with
Let's
Tracy
go.
and Jennings to go with Rubin and Castro and Avila. I think Tracy's got, watching him on Sunday, you was like, okay, that guy's got some game.
He's got some game, and you said he was the best one.
He played the best.
The best.
I think
played
so,
the best.
He played the best. And was also very much in a leadership role. He was the guy gathering, free throws. All right, come on, get in and get in. He was the guy picking people up, playing hard. So I like that.
And so is Big Robbie the player of the year, in your opinion, to start?
Yeah, I mean, I think consensus-wise, it would make sense. I mean, he's been on the radar for 3. This will be his 3rd season. When he was at Indiana State, everybody kind of learned about him. And last year, a little bit less on the radar because they struggled out of the gate.
They did struggle. He was hurt for a little bit. Didn't he start out hurt?
Yeah,
or no?
I think he maybe a little bit early, but towards the end of the year, he started coming on.
And then, like I said, they got stronger.
His game's just fun to watch.
It is.
And I think he would probably be the odds-on favorite, but you don't know.
Are y'all home and you play them once?
Yes, play them twice. Play them twice, Fordham twice, the Spiders twice, Mason twice.
Get Fordham
Dayton
twice.
twice.
That's nice.
Well, we get that. We added one more on that because UMass left the league. Right?
You know,
Yeah, I know.
I was looking at that.
I feel like something's missing. It was UMass.
I was like,
yeah.
wait, who's missing here? Who am I missing?
I'm trying to think the 4. Do we play 5? I think we maybe play 5. Mason, Dayton, Richmond, Fordham, St. Louis. I think those are the 5 we played twice.
Very cool. Well, I can't wait to come to some of those games.
Yeah, we'll have you there, man.
Let's do it. Quick rapid fire before we get out of here. We already answered this question. I said, who's your preseason player of the year? You gave me Robbie. Number 2, who is the top newcomer of the year? Transfer and freshman. So you got to give me a transfer top newcomer and a freshman.
I think
top
freshman.
newcomer.
It's not a stretch to say Nick Lewis would be that pick for everybody based on his pedigree and what he did in high school. And I think probably newcomer, I would go back with Jadarian Tracy just because of the transfer. I know there's a lot of other guys that have transferred. I don't know them yet. Like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
so many of them.
I'm strictly VCU.
Yeah, like I wish I could reel them off for you, but like my RAM is only so deep. Like my hard drive is really full.
Well, that's why I wanted just you to name Rams anyway. So
Sure.
I love
There
that.
you go.
Nick
Yeah, those
Lewis
two guys.
and Bam Tracy. I'm into it. How far
Do we go?
We talked about this last year. I
Yeah.
think you said ceiling was Elite Eight.
Probably so.
Probably so. Like looking back, like
man.
if they got through BYU, like that was a hard draw for them.
Yeah,
but made the
matchups-
matchups did not.
No,
favor
you
them
need
at
good
all.
matchups, and we did not get a good matchup there. I mean, they beat Wisconsin, and like you
Yeah.
said, only Alabama hitting every shot
Dude,
from
they
everywhere.
hit everything.
I think the second weekend.
Okay.
I think a second weekend is not crazy to say that. And boy, that'd be terrific. It's so hard to do.
So hard to do.
I think some teams,
First year
teams that-
coach.
if you pull for a team that makes it to the second weekend religiously, like you don't understand how rare that is. It is hard to make the Sweet 16.
So hard.
Yeah, real
So hard. What VCU game are you looking forward to the most this year? Home and away. Home and away.
It's great. Dayton's fun.
You said Dayton last year.
All
Like
right,
Dayton,
so all right, let me say
you said
another
Dayton
Dayton.
at Dayton is always a good
Dayton's
time.
just great.
Yeah.
They do a great job. I won't say Dayton. Let me see. I am looking forward to going to Fort Worth for the Utah State game.
There you go. I
That's
like
a big
that.
one. I think that's
Is that
well,
is that a tournament or is that just like a one game
that is a one-game non-conference
showcase? Is there
neutral
another game
site.
after it? Like
Probably.
two teams playing that,
I don't
but
know,
y'all
like
don't.
TCU probably plays like Oklahoma State or something.
Gotcha. All right.
But I say that. You know, it would be fun if we go to NC State and playing because we have
That's
not.
what I was saying.
All right, so I've
That
done
is
this.
going to be real fun.
I've done this for 18 years, and I'm trying to think now on the fly. We have been to UVA and we've played at UVA, but Gray, I don't know if we've been to another Power 4 or Power 5 home court to play a non-conference game. We play neutral site games.
No one wants to
multi-team
play you
league.
guys,
No one
too,
wants to play.
as
Yeah, no
well.
one wants to play home or away.
Yeah.
Will I guess. All right. Take away one more takeaway. Take away the home and homes we get when we lose a coach. Like we
Right.
went to Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, went to.
Wait. So how come Virginia doesn't play y'all at home this year?
They have like 5 years to schedule
All
it.
right. I got you. Can't wait for that.
So yeah, I guess the only one we've been to is Texas. Now that we went to Oklahoma, went to Alabama.
Yeah,
With Anthony Grant. So
Okay.
we went on campus at Alabama, on campus at Texas, on campus at Virginia. So only 3 games in 18 years that we've been on campus at a Power 5 or Power 4 school.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting that right. And then this year we'll go to NC State.
And Coach Martelli was saying it's great before conference play. Like we got you can go to Villanova and have that scrimmage is included in that, right? Utah State at NC State. You know, you're going to learn a lot about yourselves. And
Yeah, we'll know by the time we get
you'll
back
be ready
from
for
Atlantis.
conference play, hopefully. Yeah, and Atlantis too. Like, geez, it's gauntlet.
We'll either be in the mix for an at-large bid.
Right, you'll know. Hey, we need to win the conference.
Or we'll know like, hey, everything's got to be geared up to those days in Pittsburgh in the
That's
A10
good.
tournament.
I love
Hopefully, I think we play 13 non-conference games. We probably, Greg, 11-2. There's just, our margin of error is so small.
It is.
With the way the net rankings stack the deck against
It really is.
the smaller, the mid-major schools, even the upper mid-majors like ourselves, like our margin of error is so small. We probably need, we'd have to have a great conference season if we were anything worse than like 11-2, 10-3.
And yeah, I agree with you. And I think like if VCU doesn't do that, it's a one-team league again. Because I can see like VCU doing that and losing maybe the championship and getting in as well.
Our league just needs to win non-conference games.
Right,
We just haven't done that lately, and we need to start doing that. We need to go to NC State and win. We need to win. St. Bonaventure plays Syracuse. You got to win that game. And that's easier said than done because those are good teams, man. Those are really good teams. Dayton held up their end of the bargain last year. I thought they won. They beat Marquette.
They started off so high,
and they were in a.
And they were in it. They should have beat North Carolina, I think.
Yeah, right? Maui, right? Weren't they in Maui last year? They beat UConn, I believe. Or anyway,
UConn. They went 2-1 and should have beat North Carolina.
Yes, and then the regular season starts in the conference, and Dayton for whatever reason just took a nosedive.
That was weird.
It was crazy. But yeah, I think looking forward to going to NC State, playing against a Will Wade team on campus in Tobacco Road. That's pretty cool.
I love it. And I was going to say, would you take, the last question, will you take me and Duke to Atlantis next year? But it's going to be, will you take us to Maui next year?
I tell you what, we get a big enough sponsorship, and we can talk.
There you go, dude.
Big enough
Maui
sponsorship.
next year. Maui. Maui Invitational.
We have Graybos and Parlay everywhere. It can happen.
And then the last thing, because I just realized 2008 was when you started. So you did 2011 Final Four run.
I did. It was
like,
awesome.
What was that like?
I mean, it was a dream. It was a dream. Like,
That's
it's
incredible.
Like, the crazy thing about that I tell people is like we were really in a bubble.
Yeah.
So a lot of the fun stuff that you got to experience and Duke got to experience
in the city,
in the city,
it was wild.
It was just we didn't experience that.
Yeah.
We came back we beat Kansas, got on a plane, and like they did something with like the vectors that like shot us. Like we got back. They're like, I guess the air traffic controller's like, well, we're going to vector you here and there, and you're going to straight in.
Oh my gosh!
And the pilot was like, I've never seen anybody do that before. So we went straight. We land. It was.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it was crazy. And so, and I probably didn't even use the right lingo. But
Yeah.
we land, and they're like, there's a crowd at the Siegel Center. And we just figured it'd be like some of our really crazy fans. And we pull onto Broad Street off of Belvedere, and it looks like a police state.
Yeah.
Like it really did. Like it looked like it was martial law on Broad Street. And sure enough, man, we get into that arena, and it is packed and loud.
That's awesome.
It was 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I will never forget that, Gray. Like
That's awesome.
That to me, there's a lot of highlights to that whole 3-week Final Four run. And I did like radio interviews. One day I did one in Israel, and then like 2 hours later I did one for a Hawaii radio station. It was really cool.
That's
and
awesome.
So, but like walking into that arena and hearing the Siegel Center as loud as they were was as memorable as anything I've ever had.
Well, I love it. And again, thank you for coming here and getting people here at Parlay to watch Coach do his live pod and getting them over there to help us rip some cards. And can't wait to see what VCU does this year. I'm sure we'll have a Graybo's crew, a Graybo's night there.
Can't wait.
And I can't wait for college basketball. So
thanks for having me on.
Thanks.
This is great,
Thanks.
man.
All right, man. We're out. Giblets.